The first time she heard the roar of motorcycles, it made her heart race in ways she didn't expect. Mara had never seen a motorcycle up close, let alone a biker, but she could feel the vibration of the engines through the ground. As a blind girl, sound and touch were her eyes, and that day they told her she was standing in front of danger, or maybe adventure. She wasn't sure which, but she had no choice. The alley she had wandered into to escape, the noise of the city, led her straight to the most feared biker gang in town. And their leader, a man named Jax, was looking right at her, his dark eyes scanning her as if he could sense her soul. Jax had a reputation that made grown men shake. Tattoos ran down his arms, scars crisscrossed his knuckles, and the city whispered stories of his ruthless control over every street he touched. But when he saw Mara, something in him paused, a fleeting hesitation he had never felt before. She didn't flinch when he came closer. She didn't stumble. Instead, she smiled softly, hearing the rumble of his bike beneath his boots. That simple smile cracked something inside Jax, a wall he had built around himself for years. Mara's life had never been easy. Losing her sight at a young age had made the world both smaller and larger at the same time. She navigated life through sounds, smells, and the kindness of strangers, but independence was something she valued fiercely. The city could be cruel, but she refused to let fear define her. Standing before Jax, she sensed the storm behind his calm exterior. She wasn't afraid, and that defiance intrigued him. The first challenge came almost immediately. Mara had wandered into territory no blind person should dare, and the other gang members didn't share Jax's sudden curiosity. They laughed at her, mocked her disability, and tested her patience with cruel game. But Mara had learned resilience early. She stood her ground, her voice steady, her words sharp. Jax watched silently, a storm of emotion crossing his face, torn between the man he had always been and something new he didn't yet understand. Over the next few days, Mara's presence in the gang's world disrupted the rhythm of violence. She followed Jax without seeing, trusting the sound of his voice, the guidance of his hand. And with every ride, every challenge, every narrow escape from rival gangs and police crackdowns, a strange bond formed. Jax, the feared biker, began teaching Mara about the mechanics of motorcycles, not for herself, but because he realized she could sense more than most people ever could. She felt the engine's heartbeat, understood the balance, and learned to predict movement through vibrations alone. But danger wasn't far behind. A rival gang saw Mara's presence as an opportunity to lure Jax into a trap. One night, they cornered them in an abandoned warehouse, their numbers overwhelming. Mara could feel the fear in Jax, something he had never admitted out loud, and yet she remained calm. Using her heightened senses, she guided him, warned him of hidden traps, and even helped him anticipate attacks. The gang, stunned by her courage and uncanny intuition, faltered. Jax found himself protecting her instead of the other way around. In the aftermath, as the rival gang retreated, Jax sat with Mara under the moonlight, a rare vulnerability in his eyes. "You're the only one who sees me," he admitted, voice low. Mara smiled. "I don't need to see you. I hear you. I feel you. And that's enough." In that moment, Jax realized something profound. Strength wasn't just about fear or dominance. It was about trust, courage, and connection. And Mara had shown him both. The months that followed weren't easy, but they were transformative. Mara became more confident in her independence, learning to ride motorcycles herself with Jax's guidance. Jax, in turn, softened in ways no one could have imagined, protecting his gang without cruelty, leading without fear. They faced challenges, prejudice from society, threats from enemies, and the constant tension of their danger world, but together they turned fear into respect, chaos into purpose. When the city whispered about the dangerous biker gang, it was no longer only stories of ruthlessness. Tales of a blind girl riding alongside their leader, sensing danger before it happened, spread quietly but powerfully. Mara became a symbol of courage, Jax a symbol of change. And in the quiet moments, when motorcycles rested and engines cooled, they would sit together, listening to the city hum, knowing they had faced fear and emerged stronger, not because the world had changed, but because they had chosen to rise above it. The message was clear. True bravery isn't about seeing the world, it's about facing it. Mara couldn't see with her eyes, but she had vision in ways most never would. And Jax, once feared for his violence, had learned that love, trust, and respect could make him the strongest man alive. Together, they redefined what it meant to be fearless, leaving behind a story that would inspire anyone who felt limited by the world, reminding them that sometimes the greatest strength comes from the most unexpected places.